Hello guys and welcome back from Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone had a relaxing time eating some good food. There are just a couple of things that I want to go over for today for your assignments for this week, things that might be helpful to you. So the first thing that I wanted to go over, because the first draft of your annotated bibliography is due on Friday, is a sample annotated bibliography. I noticed not many of you guys did the work that was assigned for last Friday, which was finding two sources and coming up with a response to them. Which is unfortunate. I hope that those of you who didn't do it go back and maybe revisit that, because it will be helpful for you as you write your first draft of your annotated bibliography, which will require you to have at least 3 sources. Your final draft will require you to have 5. And one of those does need to be one of those academic peer-reviewed journal articles like we discussed in class. So I wanted to go over this example annotated bibliography for you by a student. So this annotated bibliography was on the topic of climate justice, and we watched in this class Greta Thunberg's speech to the UN Climate Summit, and this student chose that speech as their original text, and then they are trying to build a definition of climate justice based on that speech. So as you can see, they have basically format-wise their little APA citation here at the top, that nice indent there for the second line, and each one of their citations starts a new line, indentation, and you can see how the commentary paragraph is indented over as well, so you can tell where each new annotation starts. Now you are required to have a little bit longer annotations for your annotated bibliography, both the draft and the final draft. This one I think is around 100 words. Yours will end up being 150 to 200, so keep that in mind. But she has done a good job with finding sources that talk about either the dictionary definition, so that's what this first one is the dictionary definition of climate justice by the United Nations Sustainable Development Organization, and she starts out by explaining what exactly the source is. It's an overview of this. She's doing that in her own words, which is what you need to be doing. And then ending with this idea of how will I be able to use this in my essay? I'm going to be able to use it to learn more about the conversation surrounding climate justice. And they have an outline of like 17 goals that she could use to talk about what exactly climate change or climate justice activists want. So that's one example of the type of source she finds. Another one she finds is from the NAACP, talking about what exactly climate justice or environmental justice is. So this again is kind of a definitional, fact-based source. I probably would have liked her to find something more along the lines of cultural or historical representations of climate justice. So keep that in mind as you are developing your own annotated bibliography. And then her last source is an article about Greta Thunberg. So remember, her original source was that Greta Thunberg speech, and then so she has found a source talking about the social impact that Greta Thunberg is making. This is really important in thinking about her original source. She wants to find out about the Greta effect and these young activists. So this is going to be a really good article that she could use for analyzing that original text. So this is a good example for you of what your annotated bibliography should be doing on a bit of a smaller scale, because do remember that yours needs to be a little more, a little longer as far as maybe how you'll use it, or your summary of the purpose of the source. You can also include kind of an analysis of how that source is using ethos, pathos, and logos if you want, why that makes it an effective source, things like that, in order to expand your commentary a little bit. So the other thing that I want to go over is your requirements for the draft of the annotated bibliography. Since this is a shorter assignment, you will just be writing one draft, which is due Friday, and then your final draft of the annotated bibliography is due Monday of finals week, so that is a week from November 30th, this Monday. So it's really important that you get this in on time, that you do a really thorough, good job on it. You can even work ahead if you want, and put all of your sources in there so that I can give you some feedback on it and you can polish it, revise over the weekend, and get that final draft turned in. So as far as requirements go, you need to have your topic included at the top, whatever that might be. Just make sure you put it up there so that I know. You should have 3 sources all cited in APA style. So remember, you have that APA citation at the beginning of each source. And you should be able to find links to Purdue OWL on one of the past couple of weeks' modules, and that is something that can help you figure out how to cite it in APA style. At least one of these sources needs to be an academic journal article found using the library website. This is really important that you remember what an academic journal article is, what it looks like. You can go back and look at, I think it was the week before Thanksgiving. That module has the link to the library website and also an example of what an academic journal article looks like. So it's really important that you find an actual academic journal article, which means that you filter by academic peer-reviewed articles on the library website. You also need to make sure that your commentary is about 150 to 200 words, as I've mentioned. One of your sources can be your original text where you found your topic if you'd like. But if you do choose to do that, the commentary should include both your initial understanding of whatever the topic is in that initial original context, so summarizing the original source and what you understand your topic to be, and it should also include kind of a preliminary understanding of how your knowledge about that topic changed after you conducted this research. Otherwise, your commentary on your normal sources should be a summary and then an explanation of how the source helps you build a definition for your topic. Like I mentioned before, you can also include an analysis of the rhetorical appeals in that source, what makes it effective, why it is a credible source if you'd like. That is all fine. You might find that it's helpful to go back and look at some of the worksheets and some of the PowerPoints that we've gone over in the previous weeks about how to judge whether or not a source is credible, and how to figure out how to find an academic journal article, those sorts of things. Maybe you want to go back to the source assessment activity and fill that out for each of the news sources that you find. That is up to you. Otherwise, I think that is all I have for you. I will check back in on at the end of this week with another video that goes over again the final requirements for your annotated bibliography, and there will be a short final reflection due at the beginning of next week as well. So I will post that towards the end of this week. In the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me and I can respond to you by email, or we can set up a Zoom conference call if you would like. That is up to you. Otherwise, have a good rest of your week. Check in with me, keep on top of your stuff, and we'll finish out this semester strong.